Hello friends. So for Mixed Media Frenzy today we're supposed to be working with Distress Oxides, and it's funny, I'm not a stamper, but I somehow have a number of Distress Oxides, and I'll show you the three I'm actually going to use today. I'm going to use Peacock Feathers, Abandoned Coral, and Iced Spruce. And I'm trying to kind of go with the colors that are in this really great Vicki Boutin stickers collection. There's 49 in here. Really gorgeous. I was kind of concentrating on the idea of coral, this turquoise, and it sounds funny, but like bringing up some of this hue of this green, but this ice spruce actually comes out like the leafy colors here. So a really iced version of this green, but more like right here. So I was planning on using these three. Now I knew, usually I'm like, okay, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Okay, so let me show you real quick. I like this photo I have here. It's just a selfie of my two daughters and a boyfriend. And then I looked over on Scraptastic Inspirations, and I'm super behind on their Oktoberfest. So for Oktoberfest, we're supposed to be doing the letter T challenge number 3. It says the first T is template. So the template we are to use is this right here. And what it claims is differing from a sketch where it inspires you to interpret and produce a layout. This template is for you to copy and then embellish in your unique way to make it your layout. You can change the angle, blah, 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 blah. Second T is title. The title for this challenge is to be large, but also please fussy cut it. No machines for this one. Ladies, your title should be handmade. And the final T is texture. Add some texture somewhere on the page in keeping with the designs. You can use whichever media to create texture. And obviously there's many products out there to run through, blah, blah, blah. A stencil for texture, but what else can you create texture with? Go for it. Use your imagination. So I'm going to kind of go with that. So it's going to go like this, and then the stripes are going to come out. Not sure I'm going to do the stripes yet, but I have a feeling I'm going to mess with a little washi tape and do a setup. So let me start with that, and I'll come back and show you how my washi tape looks, because it's going to take me a hot minute, I bet. All right, here we go. And so this is what I came up with. I just grabbed pick a washi, and happens to be a gorgeous shade of green. Look at that. It was just in my color bins. I grabbed the first drawer that was open, first washi I saw, and what I did is I created 3 kind of color pathways right here. Now on the sketchy thing, it has 5, but I want to use the 3 inks, and I have 3 people. So I am using the design, but making my own, and that's cool. That's what we should be doing, right? So what I'm going to do next, where is my little, I'm going to get some of the ink onto this random little piece of plastic, get it kind of wet, and I'm going to paint it on into each of the stripes. So let me see if I can show you the first one. Let's see. I think I'm going to go this kind of an order. That looks good. Okay. Want to separate out some of the colors, and now keeping in mind I will not be too precious about it. I just, ooh, that is a lot of ink. I don't tend to try to overthink mixed media. It's a piece of paper, and I probably have enough ink to do about 9,000 of these layouts. So why am I going to worry that much about it? I'm just not going to worry about it. All right, so I just got a little bit of water onto my inky bits, turning it into a little bit of paint. Next question. You probably are wondering if I am being smart enough to either have gesso on this. Nope. Why not? Because I didn't feel like it. Would gesso make it work better? Absolutely. If you use gesso, it'll keep the ink from soaking right in. You'll have a lot more time to manipulate it, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm just going for it. Trying to come up with something, having a little fun, and then once I get all 3 colors on, I will probably get a bunch of water droplets on it, and I will, most of this area right here is not going to show, so I shouldn't worry about that. and then I'm going to lift some of the color. I'm going to see if it'll still lift without gesso. That's kind of fun. Okay, so I've got me most of this part done right here. But I am using, it's a cardstock, and it's from the Mind the Scrap October kits. I'm doing this, that's my How to Kill a Kit with Style kits, by the way. So, I am doing that, and I will go ahead and try to lift the color in a minute. So I'm going to paint the rest of the stripes on, and I will come right back to you. Give me a minute. Let's see how this is looking on the first one. Oh, that's pretty clean. I don't expect it to be perfect because I didn't try that hard to make. Oh, that is ripping right there where it's wet, so that's something to know. So go nice and slow at a good angle on it. Ooh, look at how nice and crisp that is. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So watch that it does not stick, because it did in that one little spot on mine. Not a big deal. Let's see. Oh, that one doesn't want to come up like that, so let's go this way with it. Yep, it does like to stick itself a little bit. Okay, I'm going to fight with this for a minute, and I will be back and show you my next treatment. What I think I want to do is I want to, from kind of up high so I get large water droplets, I want to activate some of this Distress Oxide to see if I can get some polka dotty bits. So I do have a couple good large drips on here. I think that'll be enough. I'm going to give it a second to activate, and then I'm going to see what it does. And then I'm going to go ahead with the paint left over and do some splatty bits. Okay, let's see some splatty bits, but I'm going to try to get a little bit more on this iced spruce. So let me kind of go this way so they're not just fine mist. I want just a little bit more drama in this mama. My coral has lots of nice splatty bits. I guess reverse splatty bits, because I'm going to go ahead and do true splatty bits in a second too. So let's see. I am digging this. I'm getting a little Pink Floyd off of this. If you're my age, you know what I'm talking about. If you're younger, look it up. Okay. So let's see. There we go. We're lifting a little bit more. That's what I want to see. I want to see some texture with this Distress Oxide, because texture was one of the things they were actually saying we had to have for this challenge. So you see, Distress Oxide reacts once you add water back to it. So what I have is some really great texture on my Distress Oxide. Oh, and I know that's not perfect, but my photo block is going right there, so I just didn't care. All right, so let me go ahead and get my handy dandy pizza box working. And I'm going to start with the coral, because that's what I last had going on. I might need to get it more watery, because it's trying to be argumentative about coming off the brush. There we go. Oh, yes, friends. Maybe more than I wanted, or maybe it's just what I wanted. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do that with the other colors. I have to run back and forth to wash my brush, and then I will go ahead and voice over. Here we go. Alrighty, so that's dry-ish. I mean, dry-ish for me. And now it is time to figure out which direction I want to go with this. Now remember, I'm using my Mind the Scrap kit, which is also my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit this month. So I am keeping myself kind of limited to what I have, and I've done a nice number of layouts already with this kit. So I don't have everything, which I don't know. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. So do you do the same thing I do, where I get a lot of my product out that I'm interested in looking at, and I use it, and I call it auditioning, because, you know, you have like a large amount of product, right? And then I like to kind of like say, okay, I know I want to use probably these 15 out of the 40 pieces, and I put away the rest, and I narrow it down, and it's, I guess, a process of elimination type of scrapbooking that I like doing. I don't know. I just figure I'm not totally alone in this. So what you see me doing there, well, first of all, you see my caterpillar crop, which is very, very green and noticeable. But you see me going ahead and matting my photo. I used 2 scraps as well as a 6x8 piece of pattern paper. And the pad of paper, which is not really a pad, it's a stack, I guess, is Coco Vanilla's new collection. Absolutely gorgeous. Although it looks a lot like, was the collection called Colorful? I can't remember. I have it downstairs. Anyway, looks a lot like their last collection, but it does have this really great addition of this nice orchidy kind of stuff. So it's beautiful, it's great, yada yada yada. So also in this little challenge that I'm doing, it did call for cutting out your own title, but not with like a not with a machine, like hand cutting it out. So I decided that I would go ahead and start with 5 little blocks of paper in the same size so that I have a nice, I guess like parameters for the size that I'm going to need to use. And I've decided to go ahead and freehand cut those pieces out. So I did not, in the floral paper that I had, I didn't have a big enough piece to get to like, it's like 2 by 2 1/4. I made these little spots. So I went ahead and grabbed this kind of watercolory pinky orange. It's kind of coral piece of paper that I'm going to have for my middle letter, I believe. And I absolutely just go for it and freehand cut these little pieces, and it will end up spelling out the word squad. All right, wish me luck on this one. Alrighty, so I put my letters on the white part of my paper, and the little black and white dots were getting kind of swallowed up a bit. So I went ahead and just quickly inked the outside edges with that little spruce color that you see there, my middle stripey color. And it really reads almost like a gray, which is my favorite color of ink, so that works out. And I'm just going to put this really wonky squad word ish across. I mean, I put my T-square ruler down, but my letters definitely are not absolutely uniform in size, so it's pretty ish, and that's perfectly fine. So let's see, I have that on there. I'm really, really happy with the look of my background. I am not huge into a plain cardstock background, so which is probably why I ended up liking the splatty bit so much. I will go ahead and pop up this floral cluster, and that's going to go in the bottom right of the photo. And I'm also going to end up with one in the top left, and that's pretty much because I have them, and there's some parts on the photo that just aren't incredibly necessary. So I do like this kind of golden holographic thing that's going on with these Vicky Bouton stickers. Just another cool finish. Like, a holographic is on everything right now. I've seen like this pink holographic, gold, the kind of pearly holographic, and the silver. So it's definitely one of those hot trends that's going on right now. So I figure we might as well embrace it. It's going to be in some products for a while. So you see that little teal piece that I put, the little circle piece. I don't know if that one makes it on. I was just auditioning it because I like the teal color idea, because I have that teal stripey race stripe looking thingy. I don't even know what it's called. Anywho, so I don't think it ends up making it on there. Now, I love this little wooden ruler looking thing, and I put that below my photo. It ends up grounding it ever so nicely, so I do like that. Gives it, I don't know. I like it when you have colors and then you have like the warm wood thing. So I'm only going to use one piece there, and I will get around to using the rest of that shortly. I have a feeling, actually I saw it today, that the Mind the Scrap November kits have a lot of Vicky Bouton in them. So I will definitely get the leftover bits and pieces I have from my last 2 from this kit, and then the previous month also had Vicky Bouton in it. So they are coming together bit by bit. Yeah, check out those kits. There's lots of Heidi Swap too. Total digression. Let's get back to what we are doing. So far what you see on this, I have Vicky Bouton and I have Cocoa Vanilla, and they are looking ever so delightful together. That is not a problem. Now these right there, the foam that you saw for a second, those also are Cocoa Vanilla, I believe. I like this one little piece that's on this cut apart, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of quickly fussy cut it out because, yeah, this clearly isn't like this beautiful, elegant kind of layout, so we are just going for it. And I'm sure you guys could have fussy cut it quicker, but you know, for me that was kind of a quick fussy cut. I thought it looked perfectly fine, and I'm not popping that one up. I like to have the different dimensions going on. So this, at this point, oh gosh, is that the Dear Lizzie collection or is that Paige Evans? I don't know. I can't remember where those cardstock stickers are from. It is one of them. I have not gotten a lot of traction with them yet, but I like them. I think with having this many manufacturers and this many choices, you know, I start out being a little bit more comfortable using like Cocoa Vanilla with Cocoa Vanilla in the beginning, and then like Vicky Bouton with Vicky Bouton. And then after a while, you're just like, you know what, going for it. And you slap all of it on the page. Or I slap all of it on the page. It depends. I do know quite a few crafters that scrapbook fully by collection. And I'm like, you know, it's not the worst thing to do because you know everything's matching. So I do that a little bit, but I usually end up kind of liking the mixa. So I end up putting some of these watercolored, they're like a charcoal color, some of the little floral pieces by Vicky Bouton, and it's going to give me a little bit of a different finish. I'm sorry, by Cocoa Vanilla. So you have the watercolor by Vicky Bouton, and then these little floral stems are by Cocoa Vanilla, and they are definitely, they're both watercolor, but absolutely different finish. So just so you know, I'm doing this voiceover. I'm sitting up on my bed, and my dogs are both jockeying for position to see who can get closer, and it's getting ridiculous. Like, I have a king-size bed, and I'm pushed into the far corner, and they're trying to take over. Anywho, a lot of information that does not matter. So I'm taking a look at the different, like, Nuvo dots I have, enamel dots, all that kind of stuff. I am really trying to use my Nuvo. I'm trying to use my inks, all kinds of different mixed media things that I had been ignoring. So I'm really enjoying this series because things are getting used. So I have one of the drops I'm using is opaque and one has kind of a clear quality. So it ends up looking ever so lovely. And I think I'm also going to end up using, yeah, that's a Dina Wakley, really textured, not textured, very, very thick paint in the same type of bottle. And I'm going to end up using that as my last kind of like enamel dot kind of thing. Okay, so I feel like I was rushing to tell you everything. Down below, I'll have the links to the other two fantastic ladies that are in this collaboration. And go ahead and give them some love. Oh, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And thanks so much for watching, friends. You're seeing a close-up-ish of this layout. And then, yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, just ask and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.